He's fake. This is real money because it's 2 years guarantee. It's really the second most per year of any receiver ever. Cooper Kupp and then him. Because Tyreek and Devontae's deals both got inflated by what are fake final years. Tyreek's final year is $45 million. Like, it's not happening. Right. It's a great contract. And I also think that we might, Brew, be approaching a bit of a wide receiver money, I don't want to say tipping point, but I think what happened to running backs is going to happen to receivers.
Oh. Wow.
Not in that the position's not that important or whatever. But one of the things that happened to running backs is all the best athletes for so long played it. And then all of a sudden you had so many good ones that the market got saturated. And people were like, hey, you can find good running backs everywhere in the draft, so why pay it? So think about this. Best receivers in the league are going to keep getting paid. Tyreek, Justin Jefferson, Chase, CeeDee Lamb, A.J. Brown, those types of guys. Just in the last 2 years, the following guys have come into the league. Garrett Wilson, Puka, basically all the Green Bay receivers. Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, Chris Olave, Drake London, Tank Dell, Jordan Addison. That's 8, 9 guys who teams are like, we love our guys. Right. In this year's draft, I am being told we have Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze, Troy Franklin, Brian Thomas, McConkey, who I think the Chiefs are going to draft, Brian Mitchell, and there's one, the big kid from Florida State, Keon Coleman, and this kid who just ran a 4.040, who now, that's 10 guys who we were like could be first rounders. So I think the Michael Pittman, Hollywood Brown market is going to get squeezed. I think that there is going to be a level of, wait a minute. Like we can't have 40 guys, number one receivers.
What about T. Higgins?
So I think Higgins would get a big deal, but I wouldn't give him one. So like people are like asking me on the Chiefs, like, oh, are you bummed out by Mike Evans? I would not have wanted to give Mike Evans this money. Like,
well,
I would not.
Your theory makes sense, but why, if that's the case, why did Tampa give him this money? I mean, and he's a great player, don't get me wrong, but he's 30, and I think he's going. Look, longevity is players play longer in these leagues now, but. I just wonder why they gave him no. To me, what it says is they're bringing back Baker, because Mike Evans, his agent said he wants to win championships. All right, he went through a litany of bad to mediocre quarterbacks before Tom Brady got there. Still put up great numbers. Now he's had Brady. Baker was good this year.
Yep.
This tells me Baker Mayfield will be. I know we're going to get to that, but that he'll be back in Tampa Bay.
So I do think he'll be back, but I think also. I don't think this deal was going to be out there from a lot of teams for Mike Evans. Certainly not a lot of good teams. I just don't think I think Mike Evans is really good. And you're right, guys do play longer, but the list of receivers over the age of 30 that are crushing is very, very short.
Yeah.
And I just think everybody thinks, I shouldn't say everybody, 25 teams think they have a top 10 receiver on their team.
That's right.
There are
a lot of good receivers.
I mentioned all the young guys. I mentioned the 5 great players. I did not mention Stephon Diggs, Amari Cooper, T. Higgins, Nico Collins, Devontae Adams, Keenan Allen, Devontae Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Moore, Mike Evans, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Cooper Kupp, DK Metcalf. That's 35 guys.
Right. Yeah, I like the continuity for the Bucs, though. It's like you're our tie to our championship. You're the veteran. You're a good guy. You made Baker great. I just like a little bit of, look, maybe he wasn't going to get $52 million as a free agent, but if he was going to get 45, maybe Jason Light is like, you know what?
They want to.
We owe you that. We owe you that for leadership. We owe you that for championship pedigree.
Yep.
And I think there is real value in, like, and granted they're playing kind of, I don't want to say in different stakes right now. I don't want to be condescending to the Bucs, but I don't think they're playing on the same level as the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs might end up paying the opposite of a hometown discount for Chris Jones. In that I think they might say, you know what? You are a legend, and we want you to finish your career here, and we will pay for the exact same player, anonymous player X that we could get in free agency. If that player existed, it doesn't. We'll pay a little more because we want you to be a lifelong Chief. And I think that's not always bad business. It's only bad business if you think this guy can't play anymore and we're doing it. Mike Evans can still clearly play. I just wonder if the wide receiver market's going to have a correction. You can only have so many young guys come into the league
a lot of good
that are
receivers
excellent
now.
before teams are like, we'll just draft a guy.
Yeah, you think the Patriots would have one reason, but we'll throw it to whoever wants to take it because I thought it was.
Oh, because you were upset we didn't include Mac Jones. So I think there's a real argument to drafting Marvin Harrison Jr.
Let's go.
And
So really, and sign
if you can sign Baker, not if you can. Here's why. I would not consider doing anything if I were the Bears other than drafting Caleb Williams. But if you are the Patriots and you are very confident that the two teams ahead of you are both drafting quarterbacks, you are by definition getting the third choice at quarterback. Mm-hmm. And that is a risky history. You always talk about the draft being risky in general. Right. That is particularly risky. I don't have to go through all of the names, but in the last 25 years, there have been 16 drafts where there were 3 or more first-round quarterbacks. 4 of them, the third guy has worked out. Josh Allen was one, Justin Herbert, Deshaun, which is weird, he worked out, and Big Ben. What?
Those are 3. Those are all really good quarterbacks.
But everybody else.
Right, but everybody else is Brew. Everybody else is Trey, Paxton Lynch, Tannehill, Gabbert, Freeman, Cutler, Bowler, Ramsey.
But what I would say, Nick, is how many guys that were third or lower worked out. We got a ton. What was Dak? I mean, he's a fourth rounder, but which was he, the 5th quarterback taken? I don't know, but I'm just saying we can go through a number of guys in that department. So. I think, look, I think signing Baker, who, again, I think he'll be back in Tampa, that's like you're ready to win now if you're New England. And I'm saying I think they got 2 teams ahead of them in their own division. That's not even including the Jets. We'll see if Aaron Rodgers can still play.
I think it's okay.
Right. But you know Miami and Buffalo are good. Then you got the rest of the AFC. If you go out and pay Baker big money, you're like, we're winning now rather than developing with your young coach and your young quarterback.
Or Wildes, but could it just be we are trying to get back to a baseline of competence with our new coach and our players, and we're going to use the 3rd pick to draft probably of all the players in the draft, the one who has the best chance of being a Hall of Famer one day, and the one who has the lowest chance of busting. In Marvin Harrison Jr.
Harrison, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. The flip side is that the third, drafting the third option at quarterback who might not even be the guy we're in love with, and locking us into at least 3 or 4 years of that guy, as opposed to somewhat of a maybe stopgap, or maybe Baker, continues to bounce back and ascend, and take a blue chipper receiver. I just think it's a reasonable argument.
No, I like it. So did you see this video over the weekend?
What video was?
It was a little bit of a QB camp.
Oh no.
What do you mean?
He's throwing no look.
Is that Mac Jones?
Yeah, that is Mac Jones. I don't know who you thought it was. Well, look at the footwork. The reason why I put this up, how quickly do we turn, you know what? We need to get Baker Mayfield. This is the same Baker Mayfield that had 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions and went 1-5 in Carolina, and everybody was ready to write him off, and they didn't believe in him. Why? Because he didn't have any weapons, and he had a lot of fluctuation at offensive coordinator. It's just like Mac Jones. Had a great college career.
Except
when he gets some weapons and he gets some stability, all of a sudden, Baker's great. Baker's on first things first. You're wearing a Bake Show jersey. Yeah. Not ready to give up. If you don't give up on Baker Mayfield, don't give up on Mac Jones.
So here's what you're saying. Keep Mac Jones and draft Marvin Harrison.
Ooh.
That is.
You don't want to tell Bills fans that.
I need 10 seconds.
And we have $101 million.
You would have to give him that. Mac, I mean, this year he had a fair shot, but it's been a bunch of.
You signed T. Higgins? And you look, T. Higgins over here and Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
What
I'm
in the world's going on?
Disappointed.
Whoa, Troy.
That you got to surprise Brew with this tape because he doesn't follow you on social media and see the terrible videos you made about this exact video this past week. But the other difference between the two players is
what?
All of Baker's teammates love him, and Mac Jones seems to be reviled in the Patriots locker room.
It's a little bit of a roller coaster. They didn't all love him in Cleveland.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.